Gene, this is about your 43rd year in the majors right now. Broke in with the Tigers, early 70s.
Yeah, I've been back out, so I've managed the minors for a while.
What's it like coming full circle and being with the team that you broke in as a coach now?
Well, I can't say as though that's something I dreamed about, but it's sure been great. We've played well, been in a couple World Series, so I guess when you think back, it's the only team I played in the big league. It's nice to coach with them.
You've also been associated a long time with manager Jim Leyland, with the Pirates, now here. What's that partnership been like for you?
Well, we're best friends. We played together in the minors long years and years ago, and we just remained close ever since the mid-'60s when we met actually in spring training. So we have a special relationship. Say I wouldn't coach anybody else, I wouldn't say that, but the thing we have is we communicate really well during the games, and when we're away from the park, we're best friends too.
You take a look at the teams that you've been associated with, Jim, with the Pirates in the 90s, and then your team, the White Sox. Some similarities with this team, with the Pirates team, with Bonds, Van Slyke, and Bonilla. Pretty similar maybe to Prince and Cabrera. Would you say that these teams are similar in their makeup?
A little bit. We're not like the Pittsburgh team. Pittsburgh, we were just a great defensive team. So it's different. We had some firepower. And we think of Barry Bonds, and Barry wasn't hitting home runs when he was there. Probably maybe a little more like what I had with the White Sox. We had Frank Thomas,
and Timmy Raines,
and Ventura, and those players like that. But it's an outstanding team. I don't really know. It's hard to put one team up against another, but we really like our team.
Would you say this team has, out of those two teams, the better pitching?
Probably Pittsburgh. White Sox, we had awful good pitching too. We had Jack McDowell was the Cy Young winner, and in Pittsburgh, Doug Graybeck was Cy Young. So, but probably the five-man rotation. This is probably the best.
And you see, you have a player that won MVP, Triple Crown, something that's so difficult to do. Making a run, depending on what Davis does. How special of a player is he?
Well, he's unbelievable, really. You've seen night after night the way he swings the bat, and he's done a good job at third base for us too. Now, lately playing a little hurt, but I'm glad he's on our team and we don't have to face him. But I think one thing everybody in the country is finding out about him now. Even though he won the Triple Crown last year, I think it's right now that they're really just realizing how good a player he is.
40-some years in the game. What's your biggest thrill to date?
Well, you always love it when you play. Playing in the big leagues was a thrill for me, but getting in the World Series twice, probably the first time in the World Series, but it's been a pretty good run. I enjoy it.
And you broke in, if I'm correct, the catcher at that point on the Tigers was Bill Freehand, a pretty good catcher. What was that like? You have the Mets here with Travis d'Arnaud breaking in under John Buck. What was that like to be able to pick his brain?
Well, Bill was a great catcher. Now, it's a little different from Travis d'Arnaud. He's going to be a regular player. When I got the big leagues, it didn't look like I was going to be a regular player, maybe a backup catcher. Where Travis has a lot different than I, but I'm sure John Buck will be a good guy to kind of study under. And Bill Freehand was a great catcher.
And that Tiger team, a few years removed from the World Series, Willie Horton, Norm Cash, some pretty good Al Kaline. How old were you at that time?
Well, I was pretty young then. At 68, I was only about 21. I was in the minor leagues, but it was a great team. We still see Wlie and Al's around a lot, so it was an outstanding team. Of course, they had Mickey Lolich, who's a great pitcher, Denny McLain, so it was a good bunch of guys.
You've seen a lot of changes in the game. The one they're talking about now, instant replay. Are you for or against it?
I guess if you use it right, I think it's going to be a little tough to begin with. The umpire's always been a part of the game, and taking them out of it a little bit. I think that, but it means so much. The games mean so much. If you can get the calls right, I think it'll be much better. But I'm sure they're going to have to work the kinks out too.
Excellent. Thanks so much.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Appreciate it.